So I wanted to address one more thing with you before we have to go today, and that is that you mentioned the whining. So we didn't get all the way done with that.
I was hoping you would come back to that. I was like, I hope she realizes.
The whining. Okay,
Make it end.
So the whining is an interesting thing. As we mentioned before, and it's a habit. It's just a habit that turns into a manipulation, and they don't even realize really consciously that they're manipulating. They're just in the habit of doing it. So number one, you have to handle the situation the same every time. And they need to know how you'll handle the situation the same every time as well. So what you're going to do is you're going to say, okay, so every time that you don't have a calm face, voice, and body, and mostly this is a voice thing, right? But oftentimes whining involves the whole everything. So you're going to practice what does calm look like, what does not calm look like, and you're going to practice that over and over again, and then say, okay, when you're like that, when you're whining, we call that whining. So you do a little education so they know what they're doing. And you say, what mommy will do is she'll take you by the arm and she'll say, Abigail, you're whining. We need to go to the calm down spot. And so then you'll take her to a place that she might scream. Which is not really calm. So you might want to also teach what calm voice is as far as the yelling thing goes. Anyway, so then you'll take her to the calm down spot, and this is, you're going to train her on this before it's even the time. Okay? Then mommy will take you to the calm down spot, and as soon as you're calm and your voice is like this, and your body is like this, and your face is like this, then we'll talk about it, and mommy will listen to what you have to say in a calm voice. And then after that, you'll get a chance to do an extra chore, and we'll practice it the right way. The most important thing is that you go back and you practice it again the right way. So, the consistency is super important. Helping them understand what really is a calm voice, face, and body. That's super important too.
Oh, and she knows, but like you said, I think she uses it as a manipulation, and she knows she can get calm right away. But when I take her to the calm down spot, I think she just stays there for a long time until it's convenient for her to...
So she wants a snack. Or tell them
exactly. Like I almost have to motivate, like, oh look, it's snack time, 10 minutes early, but you know what I mean? Just to try to get her some motivation.
So she recognizes she can do it. Be sure to praise it when she's calm. Be sure to praise it. And when she does have those good moments where she doesn't whine about something that she normally would, just another note that might be really helpful with the whining, and that is really encouraging the disagree appropriately skill. So in the moment when you sense that she could whine, you could say, Abigail, do you want to disagree appropriately? Right in that moment. Or Abigail, you could disagree appropriately. You could say, Mommy, I understand that you don't want me to have a cookie, but I really want one. Can I please have one? You could give her the exact words to say to you, which then decreases the anxiety, which will put her in a place where she uses a skill instead of an emotion.
That's a really great idea. What would you do if you can sense them starting to whine, or maybe they did whine, and you say, are you sure you don't want to disagree appropriately? Would you like to just, do you kind of feed it to them?
Yeah.
Do they still get the extra chore for whining, or do you kind of have a leeway period where we're transitioning?
You know what? Yeah, that's a really good question, because there is kind of like this little, I just conquered myself really fast.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a great thing.
Like they're learning really fast.
But if it always turns out that way, so if you're going on 2 weeks, they still whine, then conquer themselves, you've got to go to the next step where it's, you whined, great, you conquered yourself and disagreed appropriately, but now we're going to do a correction about it. Because you've got to now conquer it before it happens.
Right.
You've got to take them to that next place of freedom, which is the place where they mastered it before they actually let it come out. So, good
What
questions.
I can't wait for is for my children to disagree appropriately with each other when I'm not even in the room. It'll happen.
Do you know what? It will happen. When it first happened at my house, my two oldest sitting there disagreeing appropriately with each other when they were little toddlers, and I was just standing in the next room cooking dinner, and I was like, whoa. Whoa, okay, we have hit the pinnacle here, and it was beautiful, and it still happens all the time to this day. All of my children, in fact, they'll be with other children who get whiny or attitudey sometimes, and sometimes they'll lean over and say, they should just disagree appropriately. And I'm like, yes, they should. And I always feel like, I'm so glad you know. It will change you. Think of the great parents your children are going to be.
Hope so.
Think of this. I mean, they will never know not governing themselves. It'll be awesome.
Well,
thank you so much for talking with me today.
Thank you for answering my questions.
It was a lot of fun.
Appreciate it.
It was a lot of fun.